We are the Master Traitors Podcast. We are the Master Traitors Podcast.
Hi, everybody. I am your slithery little snake, the snake daddy, the shitposter supreme Matt Cack. Alongside me, it's the light of my life.
Paul, my brother's a shitty actor, Shields.
Oh my God, trust me. I've played D&D with him. I've played Werewolf with him. Colin is a bit of a shitty actor. Wow, what an episode.
This is a great episode.
I'm so excited for this one. For those of you who are joining us new, welcome. We are the Master Traitors. We are talking the Traitors US, Season 3, and today we are on Episode 4. Now, for those who don't know who we are, we're a couple of comedians here in Kansas City who have played thousands of games of Ultimate Werewolf. We've
Tens
played
of thousands.
with so many different people who are every level of drunk, every level of high, every level of competency. We've played with them all, and we are here to break down the strategy. We're here to break down exactly what's going on. Now, where we left off last episode, we were talking about how this really could have blown the whole game if someone found out, and very shocked, it really could have blown the whole game.
Yeah, I am so surprised that they let that happen.
Yes.
I'm like,
Gabby almost caught him.
yeah.
She definitely heard Danielle, but she was the perfect one to be the one catching them coming out of the bookcase room because she was so scared of being seen and getting killed.
She ran back out.
She ran away. Yeah, she Bambied the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, great. By the way, before we even get into this, Gabby fucking cracks me up this episode. She is on another level. It's incredible. So, yeah, they're coming out. Gabby was the one at the end. We had the big cliffhanger. She heard Danielle, and she ran away before anything real happens.
Because they were in the bookcase.
And they
and
had
they're
to
supposed to write down the
three
names on these coffins, right?
Yep, they were shortlisted. They wrote it into a little coffin.
Oh,
that was
okay,
on
the
the
one
mantle.
coffin.
Yeah, they had a little coffin on the mantle that said R.I.P.
Yeah.
And so, right after they leave, none of them shut the door behind them. Who was the last one out?
What the fuck?
Was Carolyn? If Carolyn was the last one out, I get it. It happens.
No,
she was
Danielle and Carolyn were out first.
You're right. So it was probably Rob. Were you born in a damn barn? Listen, the mistakes that happened with Boston Rob in this episode is kind of crazy because how he didn't make sure this room was closed is crazy to me. He plays these games.
They're in behind this bookshelf, right? That I'm pretty sure nobody knows is there.
They knew the room was there.
They did,
but they weren't really using it for anything.
Okay, yeah.
Because Dylan ends up finding it after they leave it open, and he goes, something's different about this room.
Oh yeah, he does say something's different.
And so Danielle goes back with him to try and look innocent,
which saves her.
It does save her.
It saves her.
Saves her ass so hard.
Later on, it saves her.
So he's looking around. He doesn't catch on to the coffin thing that's right there with the names. Thankfully, for their sake, he's like, yeah, got here too late.
Even if he hadn't, though, it would have.
Yeah, what are you gonna really?
Maybe
do?
it could have changed something.
Yeah, they would have probably just tried to act their way out of it. Although
I would have let him put whatever he had written down there on there.
Oh yeah,
that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done.
Let him write his own list.
Yeah,
maybe he could have swapped the list.
Just idiots.
They are
just yelling shit behind this bookcase.
Yeah, the fact that Bob was yelling behind the book, I get it. He got excited, but it's like, calm down, man. You're gonna blow. You're so loud. So Alan starts ringing the dinner bell, and they're all like, "What's going on?" Oh my! They got to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's coffin time. There's 3 coffins lined up.
Mighty coffin time.
It's coffin time. Coffin. And so my guy Fargus, he's waiting. There's fire everywhere. Everyone's scared. Here's the 3 picks for the short list that go into the coffin.
Yeah.
We get Nikki, Nicole Garcia, Nikki Bella.
Mm-hmm.
We get Sierra, who is very funny in this scene. And we get Jeremy. I think that's actually a pretty good spread.
That is I don't feel like it's a bad spread.
Not bad.
Necessarily.
You could do better, I think, but not a bad spread.
Yeah. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that was bad. Nothing was on Nikki.
No, and so you kind of bring her into the conversation.
Yeah,
and Sierra a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then you also in turn get to take out Jeremy, who was already sniffing around Danielle and getting other people to start sniffing around her. Now
he was sniffing around Danielle, which is the problem with trying with. Well, we didn't say who they picked yet.
Not yet.
So I won't get ahead of myself a little.
So there's 3 reactions to getting put into the coffins. Sierra talks mad shit. Says she's gonna kill a motherfucker. She hits the double birds when they go back to her.
I'm gonna find you and fucking hunt you down.
Yeah, she's gonna kill a motherfucker. Incredible. Nikki, her thing is she pleads her case to keep doing the games.
Girl the pot.
She is such
That's her only deal. I'll help you girl the pot.
Such a Girl Scout. She's so innocent. She's like, please, I'll help you win the games. I'm strong. And then Jeremy, in front of everyone, just immediately sells his soul. Says, hey, yo, I'll work with you guys if you don't. He knew he was done because that move is already killing you. You're going to be gone at the table the next time because you just told all the other faithfuls you're going to work with the traitors. So you're essentially an extra traitor, and you just told everyone. So he knew he was done. And if he wasn't, he was toast anyway. That was not the move regardless. One of my favorite things before they do end up choosing who kills or whatever is Nikki suddenly is so angry, and I sure know people think I'm nice, but there's gonna be no more Mrs. Nice Nikki.
Yeah, she says, no Mrs. Nice Nikki.
Oh, incredible. So we go to the breakfast, of course, where we're gonna get our reveal, and the Bambis are worried.
Yeah. They didn't do any night baths. I was kind of disappointed.
No bath
nighttime bath times. They just went in PJs.
You would think someone would have for sure wanted to wash off the smoke from all those fires.
Mm-hmm. Sam. Lathers in front of.
I bet so. We could have at least got a towel tie or something.
Yeah,
come on.
He doesn't do anything else.
Y'all leaving us thirsty this week. Leaving us thirsty. So the Bambis come in worried. Robin thinks it's Nikki. Thinks it's Nikki and Jeremy before we know who's been killed. Gabby spills on Danielle that she heard her in the bookcase, but no one trusts it. Immediately they're like, shut the fuck up, Gabby. We don't trust that.
Yeah.
Danielle's innocent. What?
That is...
He didn't listen at all.
How do you do this? That is...
That's like actual information.
Incriminating
actual evidence. And they're just like, no, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? No, we're friends with her, so it couldn't.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
These housewives are not moving again, or Bambis are not going to go against each other.
No. Carolyn's having a hard time with who they killed. We see before they reveal the kill. Everyone underestimates Carolyn still.
I knew who was going to
because of her reaction.
When Carolyn came in with her reaction, I was like, oh, I know who's going to die.
So the Bob the drag queen, if you walk in, he says, who's ready for this boy band? I don't think anyone at all is ready for that boy band. Rob is super smart. Everyone thinks there's a traitor in the coffin because of his stupid thing. At least it seems smart now. That he says, so they're going to assume a traitor goes into the coffin. The problem with all of these choices is no matter which choice you make, people can convince themselves of the logic that you might make the other choice. And they're like,
right, exactly.
So what if they thought this too? And so so eventually I think they do get there. But up front, everyone is on that train. And even some of the gamers, like Wes, really early on, from the get is on the Nikki train.
Yeah, he says that Nikki is
right.
He's gets with, who did he get with? Oh, he got with Dolores, the housewife. Dolores,
and goes on the Nikki train immediately.
Maybe he doesn't get with Dolores. I don't remember who it was.
But that's because we do see Nikki.
It was a housewife that he talked to.
Yeah, it was Dolores. No, it was. Yeah, it was. It was
Dolores.
Yeah, it was Dolores.
Yeah, which I feel is
a smart person
move,
to talk to.
because housewives for sure 100% are not traitors.
Yeah, at this point, there's
Yes.
no way they are.
Yeah.
And so they've got Gabby tricked when she tries to bring up talking to people behind. She brings up the bookcase. Says, "Who was in the room with the bookcase? Who was in the thing?"
Oh yeah, they literally at the deal
in the breakfast confronts everyone.
They give these housewives and the Bambis and people. I guess they don't know what to do with their.
They don't know how to play their
They're
cards.
just like, let's toss everything we have
as
out
soon
here.
as they know anything, they immediately confront on it. It's like, you need to use that to try and get something.
Who was in there?
Info.
Who was in the deal?
Yeah, who immediately blows that, and because Danielle went back in with Danielle smartly jumps in and says, "Well, I went in there with Dylan."
Yes,
who everyone knows isn't that everyone's pretty damn sure on Dylan not being a traitor.
And Dylan knew that he knows he's not a traitor. So
right.
now
So Danielle must not be either in his head.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm her.
That was a good play by Danielle.
We're each other's alibis.
And she makes some good plays here and there.
That was a smart play.
Agreed.
Yes.
So they trick Gabby. She's hilarious here because they're like, "Oh no, we just were going in there." And she's like, "Ugh, that's annoying." Like, she was just annoyed that her information wasn't right. Literally just goes, "That's annoying." And she goes, "It just stinks, You find something out and then it's immediately disproven." Well, yes, Gabby, that's the game.
Yes,
the game is that you accuse someone and then they lie to you.
She even said, I had that information when she said she knew that the evidence. She's like, but I probably could be convinced 5 seconds later that it's not right. Yeah.
And she could. And she does.
Yeah. She immediately, that was, oh, you were in there together? Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay, I believe you. Disproven.
The perfect person to have walked in on the Traitors, because she's the
I
only
would
one
never
who would give that up.
If I am in some kind of a court case, please do not have her on the jury.
I think I will. I think I will. So they killed Jeremy, is who we find out, and I actually feel kind of bad for him. Like, he's like, where did I screw up? Where did I go wrong?
I felt bad.
And the problem is, and with a lot of these gamers, and the thing they don't understand is going for the kill like this is different than it was in their games, because they then become. There's so many ways for you to die here. Yeah, there's not just the one. There's not just the voting off. There's not just the proving yourself in games. There's a whole secret society also killing you.
And nobody really cares that much.
Right.
About how good you are at the
games.
At the games.
That matters very little.
Right.
At the end of the day. And so it's because he talked too much. He let Danielle know. Well, he let people know, and Danielle found out that he was sniffing around. And I'm sure watching that back, he'll see that. But that's what he did. He played his cards way too early. Like we've always said. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Like we've always said, when you know a traitor, you don't immediately call them out.
Yep.
You try to play with them.
Yep. Right.
And you said that,
you're their friends.
That
you don't
want to.
They don't want to get them out. Yeah, but that's the thing. So Carolyn was. She's like, I don't think this should have been.
Shouldn't have done
kill.
Jeremy.
Yeah. She was all
sad about it. Yeah, felt like she traded on her friend, which is called the Traitors.
But not just that. She's like, he has no one with him.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
nobody with him. That I don't think this is the right move.
She's not wrong either.
No.
I thought it wasn't necessarily the best pick.
Carolyn, on numerous times,
constantly right
at this game, has been correct in what she is.
Constantly
My
right.
girl Carolyn.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's just not sticking up for what should be done. And it's not, I don't think it's hurting her necessarily.
No, I actually think it's smart because she's letting the other traitors get in their own way.
Right, exactly. Which is like what Phaedra pretty much did
Absolutely.
the last time. She just stood back, let them
let
do
the
whatever.
other traitors
Then
get in
at the
their
end,
own way.
She was like, whenever I do. So I think she's, especially after this, after the results of the round table,
yeah,
she's going to start. I think she might start getting a little more assertive.
I think we're going to see some interesting.
In the turret.
I think we're going to see some really interesting play from her in the next game.
Yeah.
1000%. Now,
because I agree. I was okay with the 3 that were in there.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should have killed Jeremy.
No,
I don't.
I don't either. I think
Nikki probably was the one to kill.
Honestly, yeah, because you're busting up the Bambis, and it's also, if you're choosing truly chaos, well, that's true chaos. And then maybe you throw Jeremy off the scent. He didn't have that much on Danielle. He just kind of thought it was her because she cried too much. That's easy to reconvince someone something else. I agree. I think it was the wrong kill, but it didn't hurt him that bad.
No, I didn't think it hurt him that bad.
No,
but I don't think it was the right kill.
Yeah, I think it's a mid kill at best.
There was no, it didn't. Every time you have, because that's the only way you can get information, right?
Yeah,
is by
who they killed,
and
then like what they say.
And they need to look every single time at who they killed or who they picked to be in something or be wherever.
Right, and why did they do that?
Right. So I guess in hindsight, if I was looking at this and I don't feel like, again, the killing of Jeremy was necessarily needed to be done, but I guess if somebody was to look at it, there really wasn't a reason. And I get that is kind of a chaotic pick.
Fair. That's fair
in itself, because otherwise, I mean, there's no reason to kill him. Again, Carolyn was right. He's there by himself, but I think she didn't want to kill him really because
now she's there by herself.
Right, because she had him as the
other survivor.
Right.
Yep.
And her shield or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Her protector of some sort. So Nikki talks about what it was like inside the coffin. She heard at least 2, maybe 3 people that were light steppers.
Light steppers.
They were light steppers. Danielle, incredibly thirsty in this moment. She's made some good moves. She also continues to make a lot of bad moves. She asks too many questions. Starts to tip off Nikki a little bit, but maybe not too bad. Ooh.
But Nikki says that Jeremy had already told her
that
he was on to Danielle.
So Jeremy had got his information out.
And this was, I think maybe Nikki was like, this is my gotcha move. By setting up Danielle by telling her there's light steps.
You're a light stepper. It could be.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She said, Jeremy told me this, so I'm setting up Danielle. And she doesn't even know it. Nope, they don't.
So
she doesn't.
Alan's outfit comes in a classic green and gray. It's pretty tame.
Yeah,
I don't like the shoes. They're very chunky. I'm not a big fan of the yellow cream going on underneath the jacket. I'm only giving this a 2 of 5.
It was pretty.
On anyone else, a lower score, but him being Alan Cumming somehow slightly still pulls this off, but I'm not a fan of the outfit. I'll be frank. I'm sorry, Alan. Bring me on the show and we can discuss it in person.
It wasn't very outlandish. It wasn't out there at all. Yeah, not really.
So the funny part coming out of breakfast, they're walking away and Nikki drops the line, "It was the saddest moment." She's talking about laying in a coffin, listening to footsteps. Crushing it. Here's my first fuck Tom of the evening as he rolls in the room and just invents a storyline of the traitors recruiting people.
Yeah.
Tom just keeps making shit up. He's so lucky he's as worthless as he is.
He comes out. He has gotten... I think Tom's going to go fairly far in this.
Because he's so worthless that he's not considered a threat by anyone.
No.
And no one thinks he's a traitor because he's too stupid.
And there's 2 people that I know of that he thinks are, and he's let him know that they are, he's pretty sure he's certain they're faithfuls, and those 2 are traitors.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're going to keep him around forever.
Tom's an idiot.
Tom looks like Eddie Munster going through a fucking new age phase. Tom... worthless. Invents a recruiting storyline that never comes back up because it's nothing and no one's listening to him and he doesn't matter. So a lot of people think it's Nikki now because of this idea.
Yeah, fuck
that
you,
there's
Tom.
going to be a traitor in
Sorry.
the. No, keep saying it. Now, Gabby says, "I don't think it's Nikki. I'm biased. There is a double standard, and that's okay." And Gabby, I agree. If you're friends with someone, you can have your double standards. I get it. You're going to not win the game with that thoughts, but you're also right. Nikki's not the one. Now, Dylan is still on Bob, but at this point, he assumes the numbers aren't there. He talks to, what's-her-face?
Again, he's talking to housewives, too, which
is
is a good
Dolores.
move. Dylan, I think, is
together.
Dylan is a good, smart player. He lets his stuff out too much.
Yes, he does.
Too much out.
He kind of learned that and is trying to dial it back, but he still can't stop on it. He's just trigger happy.
And he started trusting Rob. So
unfortunately,
yeah.
But
he was
how hard
fanboying with
how
Rob,
hard
so it
is
was
that,
kind of.
Though I get it.
Yeah.
He's the big game guy. He watched this dude win.
Yeah, for sure.
So we go to our anything else before the game or the mission that we didn't cover?
I don't think so. I think that's
yeah. So we go to this mission, and they currently have $35,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
This mission, there are Easter Island heads.
Did Fergie? You just cut to Fergie just dragging some Easter Island heads
just
down?
dragging the heads.
Or Fergus dragging.
Fergus, love Mr. Fergus.
Fergus just dragging Easter Island heads.
So they have to build them up on top of the hill, and each one has one of their names on it. Whoever's names on the heads that get put on gets shielded. There's $2,000 they get for each of these statues. There are 10 statues for a total of $20,000, which is the exact same amount they left floating on the pontoon in episode 1. Are you
going to talk about Alan's outfit, Matt?
I am.
Okay.
Alan's outfit here is a sort of majestic, moss-covered fairy to some, not in a derogatory way. He just seems like a fae to some
Laura
extent.
saw Alan, and the first thing she said was, "Is that broccoli?"
Amber also asked if it was broccoli or moss. They wanted to know, she wanted to know if it was broccoli.
He just looks like he's glued broccoli on himself.
So he's got like a whole moss sash, which I think might be living while he's wearing it. I'm going to be honest with you. As far as ridiculousness goes, I'm giving my guy, the demigod of the forest, 5s across the board. I think
this does not give a shit.
He made up for everything. He wore that dumbass, boring outfit just to make me go, look at that moss. Amber, I'm sorry, it's not broccoli. It's that moss. So there's no planning at all in this game, just like any of the others, but that's okay.
Yeah.
They just start hossing this things up. Derek decides that if he's a good boy and does teamwork, that no one's going to kill him, which...
That's stupid.
I agree.
Derek?
Very dumb
not
move,
true.
Derek.
Nobody is going to give you credit for anything.
Ever.
It doesn't make you look like a faithful.
No, you just look like someone who tries too hard. Like you just want someone to call you a good boy, and it's horrible.
And then there's
Now Brittany's mad this isn't a Peloton mission.
We finally get like some Brittany a little bit
of personality,
a tiny bit where she's.
I liked it where she was saying she was mad that it wasn't like riding a bike listening to 2000s pop or whatever.
Yeah.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think now that we're culling the herd a little bit, we're gonna start seeing some more of some of the people we expected to see more of before now.
Yeah, there's. I've seen, and still in this entire episode, no Sam whatsoever.
No, Sam's
I don't know if we'll
boring.
ever get any Sam.
There was the moment in Breakfast where he was talking about this Brittany, and everyone was like, Brittany? And that's it. Just because he said the name Brittany. That's all he gets. And I mean, that's the whole reason he's there, I guess. Gabby again cracks me up. She says, of course it's the boys just like lifting their stuff and not the women, and it's like, we are the mother of their children. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Maybe they are.
Maybe she is. Yeah, maybe she's mothered children with all of these
Maybe Lord
people.
Ivar knocked her up or something. We don't know about it.
Now we get to watch poor Bob H. come to the realization that his fitness is not at the level it once was.
Oh, yeah.
He had a heart attack 7 years ago, which is still affecting his health, which honestly it probably would. You're probably never going to get back to that shape.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for him.
I did
felt
too.
Real bad for him.
Yeah, he's realizing that, he's kind of a little guy now. He's kind of an older guy
and
now.
he's just and he's so used. I get that as older I'm getting here.
Yeah, he's so used to being able to do it.
Yeah, he's an actual trainer.
Yeah,
physical
and
trainer.
So when
so
find
it's
out
kind of like
he finds out he can't do it anymore.
yeah,
It's rough.
all these women are doing it.
Right, exactly.
Smaller people than he is.
Mm-hmm. Now, Tom is the first head on there. Fuck Tom forever.
Oh, yeah. Tom's like,
Tom would be the
what's
person
the first
to...
one? Tom, you piece of shit.
He would be the person to force head on someone. Fuck Tom forever. So then after that, Bob and Rob and Bob, all the obs are safe. Everyone named Robert is safe.
There's a lot of Bobs on this.
There's two Bobs and a Rob.
Yeah.
All the Roberts are safe. Sierra is talking to Bob in this game, and he goes, "Bitch, you just need to realize everyone thinks it's me. I'm a traitor, or everyone thinks I'm a traitor." And he goes, "Yes, bitch." Like, I like the straightforwardness, I guess.
Yeah, she doesn't need one.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to kill her.
No, they're not. Wes and Dylan are safe. Ivar thinks they need to vote on who's going to be safe. Dylan and Brittany are safe. Chriselle's safe. Dolores is safe. They get the $20,000. The pot is now $55,000.
Derek did not save himself.
Derek did not save himself. He was a good boy.
He's up there getting everybody else and not himself.
Not himself. Now, Bob is crying at the end, like we discussed, and Derek has, what a lovely quote, "You still did good." Thanks, Morty. Shut the... Hey, Rick. You still did real good. Oh, man. Oh, geez. You still did good. Thanks, Derek. You fucking idiot. Now...
Fucking Tom.
Now, this is the moment where everything changes. Because we're at the end of the game, and for some reason, Bob the drag queen decides to, out of nowhere, say something along the lines of, "So we still think there's probably a traitor from those 3 new guys, right?"
Yeah.
Now, Rob hears this and immediately targets Bob the drag queen. He gets the first sniff of Bob showing his hand a little bit. Because, let's be real, that was Bob seeding his eventual turn on Rob. That was a first step. There's no other reason to keep that in people's heads, but he thought he was going to get away with it. He thought he was going to keep it subliminally in the heads and play it.
I suppose. But Rob did the same thing at breakfast.
Agreed. And I think that was Bob kind of doing his little clapback. The problem is now Rob feels threatened. Rob is not someone who likes to feel threatened. Rob's game, when someone threatens him, is to take the threat out. And so he decides he's going to go for the head of the dragon. And he's going to go hard.
He says, I know what you said, but he goes, I'm going for the head of the dragon. He says it to Wes. I think I'm for the head of the dragon. And then they go, Nikki?
He goes, Nikki? And he goes, no, Bob Drag Queen. And they go, holy shit.
I was like, you thought Nikki was the head of a dragon?
And he's like, wait, Nikki? Because he's so on the Nikki train. He never goes for Rob's thing.
Nikki is not the head of anything. She is...
I will say from the beginning...
fairly clueless.
Yes. I would say from the beginning, when Rob started this, it felt crazy. I was like, oh my God, he's going so hard. What is happening?
Yeah.
Dylan is nervous. Rob is sneaky.
As good of like a game player that Rob is supposed to be, he is so easily manipulated.
Yeah.
He doesn't think he is, but I
would agree.
Yeah.
He goes around and he tries to convince a lot of different people, and he tries to keep it quiet. And he realizes if he's going to make this move, he needs to do it hard and fast, because the truth is, if he does not take out Bob the Drag Queen here like is his plan, it's only going to make things horrible for him. I would have loved to see that turret. Oh, man. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
He keeps saying, Rob just kept saying, it's been, this has been going on too long, and Wes has been here too long, and I'm like, you guys have been here 2 days.
2 days, which Nikki brings up too. So they get to Rob goes around. He tries to convince everyone. Obviously, Dylan's in. Some people aren't. He talks to the other traitors. Danielle doesn't want to do it because she's friends with Bob.
Yeah.
Carolyn doesn't really want to do it, but obviously she's going to save her own ass if she has to.
Then go to Carolyn. You know what Carolyn says? Carolyn says, isn't this too soon?
Right, because
she's not against doing it.
No, she knows it needs to be done eventually. She knows Bob the Drag Queen's too strong of a force.
She's like, isn't this
too
soon?
He has to be taken out eventually.
And the reality is, yes, it is too soon.
It is about 2 episodes too soon. I think you probably do this in episode 7, but we're in episode 4, and Rob's Fifi's got hurt, and he decided he needed to pull the trigger fast.
And his plan, guaranteed Rob's plan was to let someone else bring his name up. That's why he's trying to get out there.
Yeah.
And let someone else bring his name up, and then he just sits back and let them do
Which is why he told so many people.
Yeah.
He told so many people his idea, hoping someone would do exactly what you're saying, bring it up at the round table.
Right. That's what he wanted. He said that.
So we go to the round table, and it starts with a long, awkward silence, per usual, and then our guy, Wes, tells Nikki, I'm going to come at you. And says, you're a traitor, you're an actor, what wrestler wouldn't choose the moment to throw themselves in the casket and do the turn? And this is where I will say to Wes, you have clearly never watched Nikki in the WWE. I am sorry, my guy. I love her to death. I think she's a great actual physical performer. She is not an actress, my man. She just never was. She's tried to do some acting stuff. It's just not her thing. Reality really does seem to be where she fits because she can just deliver funny little airheaded quotes and be just a lovely person. And so, Wes, you're going hard at her, and she kind of body slams you by going, well, all you're doing is rambling. You just sound like, what? You're just making stuff. Like, she really just threw it back in his face to some degree because he didn't
Rack attack.
Yeah, he didn't have anything. Rack attack followed by tag team. Gabby comes into her defense like, it ain't Nikki. Shut your ass up. That's not what she said, but yeah, they tag teamed. And they really do get off of it because Derek then jumps in and says, what if it's actually Sierra? The other one in the coffin.
Right.
And then he goes all Law and Order on her, and he's like, you know, when I was a cop, I looked at the perps when they was cursing a whole bunch, cursing up a storm. Well, that's when I knew they was guilty. And then everyone's like, actually, she said fuck the very first word.
And then then she's like, I'm a nurse. And I was like, oh, God, she's a nurse? That's got to be some horrible bedside manner. Just, fuck you. You're
it's going to be fucking fine. Oh, great. I got to clean your shit up again.
I was like, Jesus.
I love her.
I was like, she's a sailor here.
I would curse just as much, Ciara. And I would also probably actually be guilty, but we'll see. Now, this part is where I got excited because no one has jumped in yet.
Oh, yeah.
And Rob knows he's running out of time for this idea. And so Rob himself, the traitor, crazy move, jumps in to attack Bob the Drag Queen. Straight up calls him out, says, it's got to be the guy who's controlling everything, does the dramatic turn and face, calls him. I could not believe this was happening.
Yeah, I was like,
never.
Neither could Bob the Drag Queen.
No,
neither.
Never in
like,
a
what?
million.
What is?
So if I'm a traitor trying to get rid of another traitor, I only join some discussion and I keep it vague. If another traitor comes up, I do join the discussion because I don't want to make people know, but I keep it vague and I never get accusatory. But when the vote comes, if I feel like the majority is going for that other traitor, I for sure will write their name down because it gives you an added layer of protection. If you vote to kill another traitor, it does make you, at least temporarily, look like you would not be a traitor. It does give you at least a moment of cool down.
There are, right. He should have stuck to his plan. He should have stuck to his plan of not saying anything, let somebody else bring it up, and when they didn't,
he should have just
let it drop.
Yeah, and then if someone brought it up to Bob, he should have just been like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That's not me. That's not my game.
Yep.
Just deny after that.
Let him hang himself somewhere in there.
Absolutely, because he will. I mean, Bob's doing a great job, but he talks a lot, and it actually does. I honestly think him talking too much is what ends up doing him in this moment. Because I don't think Rob's winning at first. And I do think Bob maybe could have saved himself when he yelled, I swear to God that I'm a faithful. I think at this point, Bob's winning the argument. But because Rob comes back in with the gig's up, bud, which makes him look like the douche, calling Bob bud. So did Bob reverse it? Well, there's still Dylan. Dylan decides to chime in here.
Yeah.
And then Dylan says, I thought it was you from the beginning. Dylan's being very Dylan. He's calm. He's just talking. He's not a character. And this is when he says, I think Bob's just a great actor. Which, that's a compliment, by the way. He complimented Bob and said he thinks he's a great actor. And then he says, I grew up with an actor. And Bob immediately replies in full-on bully bitch mode and says, not a good one.
Yep.
And that is when he lost the argument. Not for any other reason except that he insulted a very nice guy. He punched down. He slaps like that at Boston Rob. No one gives a fuck. You're punching in your weight class. Yep. You punched down at Dylan here. You bullied him for no real reason. You came across ultra defensive. One, I don't agree with the joke. I think Zac Efron's a fine enough actor. He's in plenty of stuff I enjoy, and he's attractive. But I will say that it comes across too defensive. I know he thought he was being funny in the moment. I do this shit all the time. Bob is doing something I do. You get backed into the corner. You get too defensive. You start trying to use humor to get the attention off you a little,
which is what he always does.
Yeah, but then you go too far with the joke. It comes across too defensive. You start to bully a little to try to get your way out. And then he doubled down and yelled, I will bury you under the sand. Like a supervillain. Right as the time goes out. I think Bob almost won this. And then,
it was a great scene.
And then when Dylan
the whole
came
thing was
in,
a great
it was
scene.
Maybe my favorite round table I've ever experienced. From the moment Rob accused Bob, I was like, this is such a wrong move.
And then
I cannot wait for this.
Back and forth, and then Rob was Boston Rob was so on it.
Yeah,
how
he was very straight.
Right.
This is it, and I know. And which we'll find out might be the thing that bites him in the ass.
For sure.
Potentially. So here's how the vote goes down. Dolores, Bob the Drag Queen. Danielle, Bob the Drag Queen. This is when Bob cries because they are the ride or die. But Danielle...
Yeah, they took a long time to do Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
So
they did the whole TV cut, come back.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, that was a ride or die. She felt the tide. She knew what was coming. She voted Bob. Gabby Sierra, Derek Sierra, Tom, Nikki, because she didn't want to say hi to him in the first episode. Fuck Tom. Chriselle, Bob the Drag Queen. Bob the Drag Queen, Boston Rob, of course. He's the one coming at him. Mm-hmm. Robin thinks it's Sierra. Brittany, Bob the Drag Queen. Sierra, Bob the Drag Queen. Dylan, Bob the Drag Queen. Carolyn, Bob the Drag Queen. Wes, still on Nikki. Nikki never went against Bob. Stuck with Sierra. Then we get Sam, Ivar, Boston Rob, and Bob Harper. All vote for Bob the Drag Queen. Huge, overwhelming vote for Bob.
Carolyn voted for Bob.
And Carolyn also voted for... Yeah, Carolyn voted for Bob the Drag Queen. I jumped over her name. An incredible vote. And then I was worried because when you come to situations like this and a traitor gets voted out, we saw it in the last one where one of them really did screw the game for one of the others that was still in it. And I was worried that Bob might do a thing where he screwed him over.
I
because
thought he was
got
to
screwed
on
over.
his way out.
Yeah, I thought he might say something.
Yeah.
And instead, he goes, I told you I never lied. I told you I've never lied. I told you I swear to God. And he goes, I don't believe in God. I was a traitor. And it was epic.
Yeah.
Such a good exit.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good sport all the way through. I have to say, Bob the Drag Queen may be one of my favorite competitors I've seen on the Traitors so far, because it was, like he says in his thing, it was all game. At the end of the day, it was all gameplay. Like, he even respects what Rob did. He knew Rob saw him as a threat and knew he was going to have to do something at some point. He knew it was coming eventually. He just didn't expect it yet. No one did. Because it wasn't time for it, like Carolyn said.
Which is the difference between the competitor people and I know that, like, Drag Race,
it's still competition.
It is.
And it's honestly one of the most cutthroat competitions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they know that it's all trying to get ahead. And I don't think anybody on Drag Race, after they get done, those drag queens are not, they know it's there and that's what they're supposed to. I don't think they take it personally.
No, of course not.
But on the show, they talk it up like they are.
Yeah,
but I
they
don't
play
feel
the
like
drama.
they know.
The drama
they know
makes
the
the show.
This is what the show's for. This is just gets me more FaceTime on TV.
You get drama with another queen. Honestly, if I'm going on Drag Race, I'm talking to 3 or 4 different queens, and I'm playing in a moment with each of them. And in one of these episodes, we're going to have our drama, and we're going to play up a moment. I ain't even telling the producers. We're just going to do it so they'll put it on TV, and we're going to get famous. We're going to kayfabe the shit out of that thing. You kidding me? What's up, Nikki? Let's kayfabe.
But that's where the housewives, they'll take it personal.
Oh, yeah, because it's their real life on their show. Their show's their real life.
Yeah, they'll take it personal.
I mean, even like the Bachelor, Bachelorette people, like, or the people who come in that aren't, I just want to hang out like Sam, they might take it personal too. Alan does say there are many more serpents that slither in his castle. Alan, hit me up. So Danielle's big sad now because Rob caused them all to turn on Bob. Carolyn's more scared of Rob now, which I think she definitely should be, because he will clearly act very impulsively, and he has shown it.
He'll turn on her. That's not an issue. He showed it. He put it out there.
I think what he's done is bumped up her willingness to toss him under the bus when the time comes. I think he's just made it to where, well, now I will throw you out too when I have to. And I think it might be sooner than Rob expects, because our game whiz Wes, he's got Rob's number. He picked out that Rob he saw how sure he was about Bob the Drag Queen at that table. We get a little scene there at the end. They're sitting around the bar and Wes lays it out. How do you know when someone's a traitor? They're like, well, you can't really know. Ivar, shut the fuck up. Of course you can. If you're also a traitor. Wes lays it out, and I think they all bought in immediately. I think Rob showed that.
They should have.
How you don't pick up on it
they
after
should have,
that?
at the table. At the round table, they should have known that. How much?
I bet Wes did.
Any of those? Oh, he did for sure. He picked up on it.
And I
but
bet
I'm
he
just saying the others. I'm like, because it was so obvious. I know I'm looking from the outside, knowing,
of course,
but it's never
so fast.
Are they arguing that somebody is 100% a traitor? They never. If you're a faithful, I've never seen any faithful argue that someone's 100% a traitor with
such certainty.
Right, exactly.
And on top of this, Rob, like we talked about, didn't have enough time. He didn't get his teammates on his side. Had he worked together with the traitors, they would not all feel like they had been betrayed. But now all the traitors feel betrayed. So now, all it takes is the
Oh,
whisper. All it takes is Wes whispering Rob's name across the room, and he's already got 2 other people immediately voting for Rob. There's immediately 3 votes just with someone whispers his name.
Yeah.
They will throw him under the bus immediately now. It was way too soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Carolyn was correct. It is way too soon. Every time I say what Carolyn's decision says, she is correct.
We need to make a T-shirt that just says Carolyn was right, and that's it. I will wear it every episode. Carolyn was right.
Yeah.
Now,
those faithfuls, if you have someone in there arguing like that, going back and forth, you are 100% of someone. You know, you are looking at 2 traitors. There's a chance that Bob the Drag Queen possibly wasn't a traitor with that, because
it could just be,
but because she was basically just defending herself,
absolutely,
more than what, and it looked like a defense instead of being accusing. But if someone comes out there and starts accusing someone, and is 100% sure, and it's off of, and he had no evidence,
bingo, he didn't lay any evidence.
He had none.
It was just straight accusation,
just the way you talk, and everybody says that. I see the way you talk, but they don't freaking push it like that.
They sure don't.
You know why? Because being a faithful is tough,
and you don't want people to die.
If you're wrong,
you don't want to kill the right
they'll vote
person.
you out. People, you got to worry
Faithful's
about
a much harder job.
You got to worry about the faithfuls voting you out and the freaking traitors murdering you. So you've got to.
Traitors more fun. Faithful's way harder.
Oh yeah, it's tough to.
Now, we end this episode on what may be my favorite quote I have ever heard anyone say, and that is, "You got some explaining to do, Godfather," which is a quote from Ricky Ricardo and not the Godfather. Incredible. Danielle, the fact that you think Marlon Brando said, "You got some explaining to do," just brightened my day. It put a light in my soul. I have never felt so good about being a human. It truly, you got some explaining to do, Scarface. You got some explaining to do.
Was Marlon Brando Cuban?
I don't think so. I think he's Italian.
I don't think
he was Italian. I'm pretty sure he's Italian.
Hey, you got some explaining to do. You got some explaining to do.
I think that's it for this week.
Who do you think? Who's your threes? Your top 3?
Let's do these top 3s. I am going right now at number 3. I think Dylan. Smart, quiet. If a faithful's going to make it, I think it's going to be him. Number 2, I'm going to put Danielle. Because right now I am fairly certain that the traitors are going to win, and I'm fairly certain it's going to be one of these 2, as my number 1 is Carolyn. I think Rob fucked up hard. It's going to take a lot of heat off of Danielle when they throw Rob under the bus, and I think Carolyn and Danielle can kind of coast to the end as long as they don't show their cards.
I don't disagree with most of that. I just think that if somebody gets smart enough, if they leave the gamers in there, like Wes and some of the others in there that are thinking about the deal, that I think Danielle will be sussed out at some point.
Agreed. I think
it's going to be tough for that not to happen. So I think I agree with Dylan. You know what? I'm going to put at number 3. I'm going to put Tom.
Okay,
Fuck
yeah,
you, Tom.
that's fair.
He's bringing his ass around.
That is absolutely fair.
Bring him along. He's going to be clueless.
Fuck
and
Tom. Fuck
Tom, Dylan, my number 2, and then Carolyn.
Yeah.
To win this thing.
I mean, the more I watch, the more I think she's just the hidden genius, man.
I mean, she's making smart moves. Who do you think they will? I mean, I'm excited to see the turret to see how they're going to act, but who do you think they're going to kill?
Yeah, before we get to turret, I'm not sure how this is going to go. If I'm them right now, with who's open, Derek's gone.
They might get to choose to recruit someone.
That's true.
If they get a choice to recruit someone, you think they should recruit?
Yes, if they get the choice to recruit, they should recruit Wes right now, because people don't assume that he's a traitor right now. And he is very, very good, and he will be the one to catch them. And also, he would be good against Boston Rob.
He's a good and he's good if you need to, as a traitor, divert someone off.
Yes.
If you're going to recruit someone, you want to. It's kind of.
But he could be dangerous.
You're getting recruited to be.
He could be. I would recruit
killed.
him because I feel like I could play at his level. That said, I don't know that Danielle should recruit him. I think Danielle should recruit someone who's easily manipulated. I think she should recruit someone like a Chriselle, maybe, who could be really good, but also will go along with you.
Danielle doesn't make the good moves.
She doesn't.
And
she'll make the worst move possible.
really, you should kill someone close to you.
Oh, yeah.
And she's not doing that. As the traitor,
Yeah.
that would help her, and she's not been wanting to do that.
If I'm not choosing tonight and I'm killing either Wes or Dylan, because I feel like they're big threats, and you haven't targeted a lot of big threats yet.
And Wes,
but they're shielded. I'm wrong. Those guys are shielded. I'm killing Derek.
Oh yeah, they are. Shielded.
Derek's
so you didn't
unshielded.
have to worry about it.
Derek's unshielded. He's barely done anything, but he's a good game player, so I'm killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's the move.
Derek.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he does seem to be asking questions, but he's not asking the right questions.
No.
So they might leave him through there.
Yeah, but he's a little bit random, and he's not shielded. I think I take him out now.
Yeah. I don't mind that. Yeah.
Seems fine.
Get those guys out quick.
Yeah, seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out before he's a danger.
If it was me, I know they don't get the choice, but if I was going to kill someone, Dylan.
Yeah, if I could kill Dylan, he'd be the one right now.
But Boston Rob wouldn't let him do it.
Right.
He would never let him do it.
Or he might.
Yeah, if you could convince Boston, that would be such a freaking
power
gamer move.
Yeah.
It would be a turner right there.
Uh-huh.
If they could convince Boston Rob
To
that
toss his water boy.
Dylan,
You
would be off the chopping block. Man, if they could, that would be there because
And then throw him onto the chopping block.
Yeah, because right now he's one person
that will actually be on his side.
that would be on his side, and they need to get him off of there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be baller.
That'd be a good move.
They did it on purpose.
That would be a good move.
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, because I don't think they can kill Dylan. I think he's shielded.
Ah, fuck. There's so many damn people shielded.
I know they
Damn
shielded
it.
a lot
Son
of people.
of a bitch. Ivar.
Yeah, Ivar, you're gone.
Yeah.
He's been too boring.
Yeah, he didn't put
Come
there.
on,
Ivar, Sam.
Mountbatten.
Kill those dudes. I haven't
rid
even
of 'em.
seen one.
Snooze fest.
I don't think Sam's had one damn confessional.
No. They got in the bath once, maybe, but that's about it.
Okay.
All right, guys, we will see you next week for the Traitors US Season 3, Episode 5. We're going to see just exactly how this all goes down in the Traitor Turret. I cannot wait.
Oh, you forgot to call out KC.
Oh, my goodness. I've been checking the analytics on Apple, and by the way, thank you, everyone, for your large completion rates. You might even still be listening to this right now as I say thank you to so many cities, obviously the big ones, the New Yorks, the LAs, the Chicagos. And I got to say, even some small cities. I saw Tucson. I saw Akron, Ohio coming in. What's up, Akron? You know who?
Akron is
know who was statistically irrelevant in the data? Was our hometown, Kansas City.
What?
What the fuck,
The
guys?
fuck?
What the fuck? Kansas City.
Come
None of
on.
you. Why are you not watching the greatest show in existence? And two, why are you not listening to the greatest podcast about the greatest show in existence?
Yeah. I cannot believe it. KC, come on. What are you two? I get it. We're in the middle of a Chiefs playoff race, but
no excuse.
This is
no
during the
excuse.
week.
You think Taylor doesn't watch the Traitors?
Oh,
She watches the Traitors.
please.
She watches the Traitors.
Mhm.
She's in her reputation era.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. We will see you next week for episode 5. I am your slithery little sneaky snake, your shitposter supreme, Matt Keck. Alongside me, it's the light of my life,
Paul, nailing the coffin shields.
and we will see you later.
Later.
Traitors.
Fuck you, Tom.